Shabbat Shalom. So good. Good to be together, as I said. We come to the last three of our plagues in this week's parasha in Bo. And those three are Be, Choshech, and Makat Bechorot. We have locusts, darkness, and the death of the firstborn. And there are many, many commentaries around all of what happens during the plagues, what's happening quite literally on the pshat, and then also in the drash level, what's happening under the surface. And I wanted to look at the plague of darkness, Choshech. And it says in the Torah, what it gives us in the Parsha is that Moshe holds out his arms, he holds them up, and he actually holds them out to the sky, and then a thick darkness comes down upon all of the land of Egypt. A thick darkness. And then it says, Lo ra'u ish et achiv. It says that people couldn't see one another. People couldn't see the people that were in front of them, which is pretty rare in a darkness, and you think often our eyes get used to it, but it was such a thick darkness, quite literally, that you couldn't see the person who was in front of you. And then it goes on to actually say, V'lo kamu ish mitachtav, that people couldn't even move from where they were, that they were stuck where they were. And there's a beautiful, beautiful commentary from Rav Alexander Zushia Friedman from Poland about, give or take, 100 years ago. And he reads into this, not on the pshat level, but he goes into the drash, and he says, the worst kind of darkness is when a person cannot see their own sibling in pain and offer them some help. The worst kind of darkness is when a person can't see their sibling in pain and offer them some help. And then he continues to say, and the result of this is that when a person ignores the suffering of their friend or of the other, they themselves get stuck. They can't move. When we don't see the suffering of the people in front of us, we ourselves get stuck. And he says, and that's how that's how we can explain the continuation of our pasuk, where it tells us that nobody was able to get up, kamu. No one was getting up from where they were stuck in their places. It's a beautiful read of what this plague of darkness is all about, and it's something that resonates so much in our lives. The darkness, metaphorically, of what the world and the heaviness of the world feels like, and then also the reminder of what it actually means to not be able to see the person that's sitting in front of us. And I was thinking about the opposite of what this darkness is, and the opposite of the darkness is light. The light is exactly, and it says, without saying it, the light is when we see each other. Light is not only about the physical light, but it's when we see the people who are in front of us. We see who they are in their fullness, in their wholeness. We are attuned to their suffering and to their pain, that we don't shut down because of that, but we look at them. And I was thinking about the light that we bring into our lives on Shabbat. On Shabbat, we light Shabbat candles. And quite literally, in the pshat reason of why we light Shabbat candles in the rabbinic times is because if you're not going to use the candles on Shabbat, if you can't light a flame on Shabbat, then your entire house is going to stay dark for all of Shabbat. Literally, we need to light the candles before we go into Shabbat because we wouldn't be able to see anything. We couldn't eat, we couldn't see. So we have to light them before Shabbat so that all of Friday night the candles will stay lit. But the teaching that the rabbis give us is that part of the lighting of Shabbat candles is also for Shalom Bayit. It's also to bring peace into our homes. That the light of Shabbat is actually the opposite of this darkness that we're talking about. The light of this Shabbat and the light of Shabbat is all about seeing the people who are in front of us. Seeing the people who are with us, asking them really deeply, how are you? What is happening for you in your life? To open up our eyes to that suffering, to the pain, to whatever it is that's holding in not only the people that are immediately in front of us, but also opening up to the world. While we take a step back in so many ways on Shabbat, we're also pushed to open ourselves up. And so on this Shabbat, on this beautiful and also heavy Shabbat of where we feel that thick darkness in so many ways, as we turn to page 23 to welcome in the Shabbat Queen, may it be a moment where we not only open our eyes to the light of Shabbat, but we also open our hearts to the light and to the goodness and to the people and presence that's all around us.
Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Amen.